Hello and welcome to Negative Feedback. This week we're going to be looking at the effects of overexposing and underexposing colour film. So I'm going to be shooting some Portra 400 today. I think the general idea is that I'm going to take the same photo with lots of different settings, and then hopefully we can give a good comparison of the different looks you can achieve, and then you should be able to choose the one that you prefer for you to go and shoot with. So what we're going to be doing at first is just over and underexposing the film. This is quite different to pushing and pulling film, and I think they do get mixed up quite a lot of the time. Pushing and pulling are actually done in the development, whereas where you're overexposing or underexposing, you just develop the film as normal, and the colour effects are just due to how much light you expose the film to. We've now switched up to use a flash, just because it's a ridiculously overcast day, which we didn't quite plan for. So hopefully this will be able to give us maybe even just a different look, but also allow us to be able to play with the settings and overexposure a bit more. So first of all, I would actually like to extend a thank you to Parallax, who allowed me to use some of their film to shoot for this video. You should definitely go check them out. Very trendy, new, cool film shop out of South London. It's definitely good to try and support the community as opposed to someone like Amazon to try and keep this alive. So I've just got the images back, and I'm quite surprised. I'm not sure. I think one thing to bear in mind is that the scanner has just been set to auto on all of these. I also would like to say that it would have been good to test shooting 100 and maybe even lower, but we just didn't have enough light on this day. Maybe it's something we can try out a different day. So the images on the bed, I definitely prefer 200. 200 and 400 are the only ones really worth looking at for me. I just don't think it's a good look any lower. You're starting to lose detail on the blacks, but 200 looks really great. I think that's definitely my favourite. Just got a bit more light and airy feel to it, which I think is quite good for portraits. Surprisingly, my preference completely changed on the flash images. I think it really doesn't look as good overexposed with flash. I'm not sure why this is. It's just gone a bit too washed out. Just lost a bit of the contrast of the photo, which I guess you shoot flash most of the time for a high contrast image. So I think it just hasn't quite worked in this case. The skin tones just didn't look as nice. But I am surprised to see that even at 800 it looks completely fine. But I think from now on I'll definitely be shooting all my flash at box speed 400. And then as to the images of outside, it's not really the most interesting photo, just simply due to it being so overcast. And it does get worse the more you underexpose. It's an interesting test of compositions with this, because it can always pull more detail from the sky the less you expose, and you just lose a bit of detail on the foreground or the landscape. So it's an interesting test, but I think you just start to lose a bit too much of the shadow detail the further you go. You can just about get away with it at 800 in this instance, but I think I'd go for box speed and below all opportunities. So thank you very much for watching, hopefully see you next week with another video. Thank you and goodbye.